Okay, Ask the Expert, take 3.
Why don't Dynaudio do a passive infinite baffle two-way stand mount? Yeah, that's a fairly complicated question. And I had to think about that a little bit because if you take that literally, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I need to explain why. Normally, when we say infinite baffle, that means a very big speaker. It basically means that you build a speaker where you have so much air in the cabinet that when the driver is moving, it doesn't have to compress the air inside of the cabinet. That requires a very big cabinet, so it will create a very big speaker. An infinite baffle two-way stand mount doesn't really make sense. If it's an infinite baffle, it'll be a big speaker. It will not be a stand mount speaker. That's the direct answer to the question. But what I think is the basis of this question is sometimes people say infinite baffle when they mean sealed box speakers. I see, especially in car audio, sometimes you mix those two terms. If we take the question as, why don't we make a passive sealed box stand mount speaker, then the question makes a lot more sense. So assuming that, the passive part probably relates to, we have a Focus 10, which is an active sealed speaker. So why don't we make a passive version of that? Basically, it's because when you have a sealed box, you are changing the way the sound in the bass response rolled off from the box. And we can utilize that in an active speaker by using EQ to extend the bass. So in a Focus 10, we can play very, very low bass frequencies, even in a small box. In the passive speaker, you can't really do that because you don't have the option to EQ accordingly on the speakers. So normally our passive speakers are ported speakers. But actually there's a side note here, because all of our ported speakers actually comes with a foam plug. And if you insert that foam plug into the port, you're actually creating a sealed box speaker. So if the question is a sealed box speaker, you can create a sealed box speaker out of all of our speakers by simply inserting the foam plug into the port. That might be relevant for several reasons that I think we are going to cover in a future episode of Ask the Expert.